Good evening, this is Kuro. Got a Tier 8 game in my Tier 8 Yukikaze. Going over the matchmaking, have an enemy Kaga. Other threats to my ships, the Baltimore, Chapayev or radar ships, obvious threats to my ship. Um, I have an Asashio B as the only enemy DD. He is in a division. And anytime you have a three-man division, you need to be cognizant that um, that DD is likely to have better support than you are going to be receiving if you're not in a division of your own. The lesson for this game is about measuring your aggression. This is the new Epicenter mode, and gonna talk a little bit about it. I still see players that they just they're not they're not playing this thing right. You can see right here that as I step off the outer ring, the enemy team starts capping this, even though I'm still inside the epicenter. Um, all of these cap circles flip independently. This is, maybe redundant for a lot of people that are used to playing these games. Um, in my experience, random teams have a really hard time understanding this concept called ring control, keeping a ship in each of these rings to deny the enemy points. And this is going to make this game really hard for us. So what I'm doing there, I'm sacrificing that smoke by laying a smoke here for Cleveland, Pensacola. All these guys are pushing up here in the open. They're going to be spotted soon. Uh, so I'm trying to give these guys the ability to farm everything right here on the mini-map. My CV does do a good job and does put a fighter over me. Um, the enemy CV is, I believe he is in a division with the Massachusetts and the Asashio B, and that's always a very potent combo. Trying to deal with that. Now here, my team, they've got ships on both caps. I am going to step onto the center cap just to deny the points. The points tick really fast in this mode with on the epicenter. So it's not. You better have a good reason to not be sitting in an area denying capture points. Here I'm just throwing some random torpedoes out. This particular build is basically a full gunboat build. Um, I'm seeing maybe I can catch this Dallas if he pokes out here. I get a quick spot on the Asashio, and I'm just guesstimating that I think this guy's going to be try to relocate, creep ahead closer to that island. I'm hoping that maybe I can catch him if he tries to sit here, as he tries to keep my team spotted down here. So that's my thoughts in between this with those torpedoes. If I was this Asashio, I would want to park somewhere in here because I was last spotted here. I would want to relocate just to avoid any potential random torpedoes from somebody just throwing torps at a marker on the mini map. Now here, I'm gonna get pushed out here. I see this Bismarck pushing up. Bismarck, German battleship, higher than tier 8 or tier 8 or higher. That means hydro. And last thing I want is this guy to be able to push into this island and hydro me. So, and you're gonna see here, 7 points per tick, and it adds up quickly. So I want to try to get something productive out of giving them these points. So I'm coming out here onto the 8-9 line, where the enemy team seems like they've got a fairly strong push going on. And I want to throw some torps out here, see if I can't break something up. I've got some fairly nasty angles on some of these ships here, and maybe I can get lucky. Unfortunately, I don't know if there's uh, something running hydro or something like that, but my torps were spotted, and this King George is actually going to do a really good job at juking those torpedoes, and my efforts for naught. Now, look at my team. They've stepped off the second ring. The enemy team has now captured the second. So now 5 points and 7 points per tick. And you see how this is starting to ramp up more and more and more. Um, it's really quite punishing. Now my team does have a push going on the 3 line. It looks like they're hammering some ships out there. The best thing I can do is try to slow down this timer. So I'm going to step in the cap right here and try to stall out this second point while I see if I can do anything further to break this up. And now that I've stepped off the last circle, the enemy team has now taken all 3 points, simply because my team is not obeying, the standard operating procedure of keep a ship in each circle. It's not a hard concept, but it seems a lot of players have a really difficult time accomplishing that. Finally see this Bismarck's looks like he's going to push out from beyond this island. So he's going to throw a set of torpedoes in there. Line up the second ones. If you're not familiar with Yukikaze, she's an absolute glorious beast with my favorite torpedoes in the game, F3s, and these things are utterly disgusting when they hit. And you can see just 3 torpedo hits. That's a crippled Bismarck. And this being a tier 8 ship, you can imagine what this thing does to tier 6 battleships. The torpedoes reload fast enough that I do prefer a gun build on it. This is my Yagumo Captain. So I'm running basic firing training, expert marksman, the usual gun buffs that I run on my kind of insane gun spec torpedo reload Yagumo. The concept behind it being, you gun spec a Yagumo, it basically has the DPM, it's slightly less DPM than an Udaloy. In a package as sneaky as a Yagumo at 5.5 kilometer concealment, plus the firepower with not only F3 torpedoes but also torpedo reload. And the general idea is just anything that wants to try to push you, you can whack a lot of HP off. If it's a DD, DDs do not want to rush another destroyer that has F3s. These things are just so fast that it can be very difficult to dodge these torpedoes in any sort of meaningful way. Here, it's an Asashio. His torpedoes mean nothing to me, so that's why you see me sitting broadside in the cap here and not in a traditional, you know, way where I would be angling at torpedoes. Now here, I'm just counting in my head, watching the indicator on the KGV. It was last spotted here, but he's sailing around this island, so he drops off, and I count a couple seconds in my head. Basically, I've been watching his indicator move, and I'm basically predicting he's going to feel fairly comfortable sailing around this island undetected, and be able to, he might be poking out here. Um, who, if I was a Battleship player, I would stop here. But there's a lot of Battleship players that don't. I'm trying to get more support up here. My team is really making this hard. Got a Charles Martel on the J line. This Cleveland, he's going to be, a damn hero on this. I take a huge hit from the King George. The Asashio did a really good job timing that push to where he had support and I didn't. And, you can see the end result with that. Now, unfortunately for the King George, he walked right into my F3s, and he paid heavy for that volley. Here we're just sniping at each other in smoke. I don't have torps. He knows I don't have torps because obviously I smoked up. But we're sniping at each other in smoke, trying to get some sort of advantage on HP. And this Cleveland's coming in, and I'm gonna start pinging this to try to get this Cleveland to radar. The Asashio's getting support from a Mogami that's going to be coming around the island, and there's still a Baltimore out there. I don't know if this Cleveland didn't have radar or what was going on. But, it kind of is what it is. The Mogami's up, and just going to start using my guns trying to help this Mogami, or help my Cleveland win this fight. Now, the lesson for this section really is about measured aggression. I've got a Cleveland that this guy, he's really exposed right now. He was walking into a crossfire with torpedoes, with 2 cruisers that can shoot AP at him, and he needs help. I've still got some HP that I can take a few hits if I can help this guy out, and those few hits might make that guy live just long enough where we might be able to get through this together. Now we're starting to finally flip the center cap. My Cleveland, I don't like seeing this. He's broadside to the Baltimore. The Baltimore dodges my torps, but now the Baltimore, he's distracted, so it's my turn to open up on this guy and try to take care of that Baltimore. We got the Baltimore down. Now, if you look, now we're starting to flip capture points. The Asashio ran off. My team's finally starting to pull it back together. If you look, I mean, we were down a lot of points this game because my team just they weren't helping control the caps. I stay in the cap, make sure I get the second ring. I step into the center ring. I know this Cleveland's going down. I still want to at least deny the points. Ideally flip them. My CV spots the Asashio. He's coming back in. He's got a pretty good HP advantage on me. But the nasty thing about this build, most Asashios are running torpedo acceleration and adrenaline rush. I'm running basic firing training and adrenaline rush, so my gun DPM is going to be substantially more than his. Now, here I can see when this Asashio's in what cap ring. You can see he just stepped out of the center cap ring. He's in the center now, and I'm using that to predict when this guy's going to pop up. You heard me slow down. I slowed down so I can smoke because I've got planes over his head. So to slow that down and explain this ambush, I'm not really watching my screen. I'm watching the minimap. And as I'm sailing along, we've got the visual confirmation on the minimap that the Asashio was spotted by the dive bombers. He's heading directly for the center of the cap, and I can confirm that when he's unspotted by him uh, in the process of trying to flip the middle ring. He does not actually cap the middle ring. He proceeds on into the center ring, and with my detection circle on the center ring, I can draw a line from where he was last spotted right to me, and I can start making my course adjustments uh, without even without even spotting this guy. I know roughly where he's going to pop up, and I can make sure that I've got my guns pretty close to right where he's at, even though I don't have RPF or anything like that. And further, uh, these planes. I saw the plane sail flying up. Yes, planes sail uh, in this magical World of Warships. Don't question it. But the planes flying up on the minimap, that tells me that I've got a spotter here. So why risk damage? There's still a CV out there that would love to kill me. Uh, you know, why risk my HP? I'm gonna be able to get some damage on this guy, uh, just because he doesn't have this advantage, and I'm able to finish him off, and then that flips the cap. That's another side perk of immediately being able to smoke up. He wasn't able to actually reset me, so I was seconds away from flipping that capture point. Now, the measured aggression. Where's the number one place CVs like to sit on this cap? It's here. Or here. And they sit there because it's such a pain in the butt to dig them out. They can sit there and launch strike after strike all the way as you guys try to come up here, and they can't be shot, they can't be harassed or anything. And look at my team. We've got a really low Ishmael. I'm fairly low. We've got a fairly low Charles Martel. Um, this CV theoretically could win this. They do have a points advantage. He does need to be moving. He can buy himself time by getting some kills. So I am making the call here. Just run. Just win this on points. Uh, we don't need to risk our HP going after this CV. Now here, I'm being kind of selfish. I don't want this CV to really know. Well, he sees me now. Um, my AA isn't going to be enough to shoot this Martel. So I am just gonna start heading as far away from the cap as I can, and just try to live as long as I can. You can see how quickly the points have shifted now that we have all three capture points. 3 points, 5 points, and 7 points a tick. It adds up in a hurry. We're going to win this game in 35 seconds thanks to my mod that should be in the game. And, I'm just, you know, just trying to live. If I did have a smoke, I would go to the Martel and I would drop the smoke. Um, it's just my AA not gonna make a difference there. I've actually lost most of it with the. Here I'm actually shooting. I was trying to get spotted to see if I could get the Kaga to strike me because I've got more HP than the Martel. But with the air detection, it just wasn't working out. Um, and looked like my Martel was able to dodge most of the damage anyway, and we went on points. So this was a game that was one of those ones I needed to go smoke a cigar afterwards, just because how technical it got. Trying to pretty much alone try to stall out the points as best as I could. Um, try to dial everything back as far as holding the enemy team um, at bay while I did what I needed to do. And I think that this was a really good video on cap control and controlling your aggression. And I hope you guys enjoy the video. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. Hope you guys are having a good night, and I will talk to you later.